Hello again. First of all, a correction. In the first video I said something about A Soldier's Tale and suggested that it was going to be on Radio 3 this week. Well, it's not. I made a mistake. What I read was something on the Scottish Chamber Orchestra website which told us that music from A Soldier's Tale is going to be recorded by them in a concert on, I think it's the 7th of January. And I'd commend it to you because these online concerts that the SCO does are really very good. Anyway, let's get this programme underway. Doing a programme about waltzes that weren't necessarily written for the ballroom isn't as daft as it might seem at first. There are really hundreds of pieces I could have chosen, piano pieces in particular by Brahms or Chopin or Grieg, and countless others, for example. I said in the first video that this programme wouldn't feature any music by Strauss. Well, I meant it, but next comes music by Strauss, though not one of the Strauss family famous for waltzes. Richard Strauss, no relation, wrote waltz sequences for his opera Der Rosenkavalier, which was premiered in 1911. Strauss came in for a bit of stick for what I suppose was anachronistic use of the waltz. But then again, he seemed to make a point of writing music that wasn't necessarily, it didn't necessarily belong to his age. Anyway, so let's hear this music from Der Rosenkavalier once I track it. I'm looking up on Spotify for this, and I could maybe tell you that last week I received intimation from Spotify about my usage of it in the past year, and it appears that I've listened to 30,500 minutes of Spotify. Anyway, Richard Strauss. Lots of very energetic brass in the middle section in particular. It's a Richard Strauss hallmark. I've said twice, I think, that there'll be no music by the Strauss dynasty in this programme. We're going to hear some, it's Johann Strauss II next, but it's actually not music written by the Waltz King. It's music written as a tribute to him by Erich Korngold, who was born in Vienna, and he wrote Straussiana in 1951. It was his last orchestral work, and it's a really curious potpourri of melodies from some of Johann Strauss's lesser known waltzes. If like you, I think you might find this quite charming. I certainly did. It's certainly a well orchestrated work, despite, or maybe because of the fact that it was written for American school orchestras. So let's hear it now, as soon as I find it. suppose you might think that was pretty conventional Viennese waltz stuff. The sort of music that, well, may have tempted you to put on a ball gown and glide around your living room floor, especially if you're a woman. I came to a kind of conclusion when I was researching this programme that surprised me. I thought it would be appropriate to include in it a symphony that features waltz music. But there are remarkably few of them. Mahler has hints of the waltz in a couple of his symphonies, and I'm sure there were other composers who did likewise, but to be honest I can't think of many offhand. That left me with two clear candidates, Tchaikovsky's Fifth Symphony and the third movement of it, and Symphonie Fantastique by Berlioz, and I've chosen the latter because most folk I think would be familiar with Tchaikovsky's waltzes, the ones written for ballet. Berlioz wrote Symphonie Fantastique in 1830. I've told the story of his work before because I've featured bits of it in previous programmes, so I'll just précis it thus. It's a musical story of an artist's self-destructive passion for a beautiful woman. The symphony is in 5 movements. Each one has a name: Passions, A Ball, Scene in the Fields, March to the Scaffold, and Dream of a Witch's Sabbath. Needless to say, the piece I've chosen is the ball, the waltz, and the second movement. I'm looking for it as I speak. So we've got 2 harps leading the waltz as the music alternates between the dancers and spying on the artist as he tries to get the attention of this beautiful woman. And it's really easy listening to the music to picture this artist in the swirl of a grand party with the colourful sights and sounds all around him. Yet all he can think of is a woman. So let's hear it now. troppo Berlioz asked for, but I think we agree the faster sections of that certainly went along at quite a lick. I've said it before and I'll say it again, he is my favourite composer of that era. The first video featured some piano waltzes, and I thought I'd finish this one with another one, just a minute-long piece by the Czech composer Martinu. He wrote 3 editions of short piano pieces called Puppets between 1912 and 1925, and this next piece is from the second book, and it's called simply Sentimental Puppets Waltz. Well, that ends this video, but I've decided to use 3 videos in this programme, and in the next shorter video you'll hear a piece of music I simply felt I had to include in a programme about waltzes that weren't strictly for dancing to. And as it so happens, in the email I received from Spotify this week, informing me of my usage of Spotify in the past year, I'm told that this particular piece of music is the piece that I've listened to most in 2020. So that's coming up in the next video.